5D
Yeah.
is very simple. Well-being. Well-being. See, we said there's no fear, there's no trust, there's no safety. Those kind of words don't exist. It's simply well-being. And right now, one of the really fun events is we are, you, me, everybody listening, we are changing the game board. And so one of the things that's happened is we've actually, in the last 2 years, kind of leaped over, if you would, created an octave. We leaped over a whole lot of the noise. And so the octave, let's put the octave as part of the fifth dimension, or maybe the doorway to the fifth dimension, or the grand hall that you enter into, making those words up. The octave is all about joy and ease. This word ease is really big. Buoyancy. There's a just sense of, have you ever been in the ocean and it's just kind of that wave raises you up and puts you down? There's a level of lightness, and there's a huge light that comes into this. But you step into this octave, this fifth dimensional space, this joy, and one of the things that's very sticky, it's like jumping into the water and getting out and you're still wet. The fifth dimension is not going away. The more you find joy and begin to recognize my past is not my truth necessarily, the more the shadows and the fear and the backpack goes away.
Wow. Okay, so something happened in particular. You mentioned the last couple of years, there's a real buoyancy that's kicking in. You also mentioned, I've heard you share that, 2012, 12 minutes after 12, like there's a lot that's been sort of, there's a transition underfoot. We've described the game board quite well. Are we collectively transitioning off the game board? Did you like what's going on collectively for us at large at this particular, I want to say like mega time scale, but like, decades or, the last few years and stuff like that. Like,
Sure.
what do you see happening
Sure.
for us at this particular moment in time?
Sure. So the 3D game, when it was both created and experienced, in a way it was an accident, but there are no accidents, and it's here. And one of the things about creation is you never destroy creation once creation is created, but you can be done with it and you can dissolve it. So dissolving it, it's like you and I go have a moment, we go to a movie, we get done with the movie is over, and the event ends. So this 3D game board has had a lot of value. And one of the pieces of the value of the game board was to play a game in physicalness. Now, physicalness is we think it's everything, but physicalness is just like a single drop of water in the universal ocean. It's a little tiny game, but it's a huge game. When the creator beings were playing, they started to explore physicalness. Now, at the beginning, physicalness, now I said a moment ago, fourth dimension is a thought realm. That's physical. Thoughts are physical. They have density to them. But they played and created dimensions, and they played successfully. And then they said, let's make it more dense. I'm trying to paraphrase. And they created another one. They created another one. But one of the things that happened along the way is the creator gods, little g, the ones that the creator said, go and create and play, went out and played. And that alignment was always in the light. But at some point, some of the beings, as explained by the archangelics, started to get so excited about their personal creation, they began to create without the light of the creator. They had the light, but they didn't use in agreement with the creator. See, when everything works, you and I create with the creator, in the love of the creator, in the joy that we are. Every time you create in joy, things happen. When you create outside of the light of the creator, anger, resentment, jealousy, rage, outside of the light, things don't work out so well. But in the densities, it always worked. Everything worked. But it got down to this fourth and third density.
It was
And
just
all
an
of a sudden,
experiment that they were just playing to try and create more
the
density. 'Cause
purpose of the creator is to create. And so the creator basically, my simpleness, grabbed a big piece of itself and said, go create. So when they created, though, this got more dense, more dense, more dense. And all of a sudden, some of the pieces that were easy to move around in the higher densities weren't so easy to move around in the lower density. And it began to be a problem, literally. And so let's just say the alignments of emotions, anger, rage, resentment, they get in the way of flow and ease and buoyancy. So the game board was created because of this word separation. And what would happen if everything was created outside of oneness with the creator? Wow, cool. Let's go see what happens. That was it. I mean, the archangelics just say, that was it. We created, or it was created. So now in the process was, can we understand every vibration that's possible that's outside of the love of the creator? Third dimensional game board. And so now to your question. So over time, those that have paid attention have watched the opportunity to basically end the game. The game has been attempted to be ended 5 times. And every time that it would get to that point, it was recognized that there was more opportunity for separation to be experienced. I'm paraphrasing, making it simple. In 1987, to your question, there was something called the harmonic convergence. And in simple terms, it was the question came back up again. Do we kind of rearrange this whole game and go at it one more time? Or do we make an attempt to basically bring it into completion? And the answer was, let's make an attempt to bring it into completion. Massive decision, never made before in the game board. And so starting in 1987, a lot of things changed without trying to go there. And then periodically, year after year after year, we moved closer and moved closer and moved closer. The Y2K event in 2000, some people don't even remember that, but it was about changing time, completely about changing time. If you do know about that, all of the computers were structured to end in 1999, their time cycle. Nobody thought about what do you do after 1999. And all the computers were wired to that, and that was a real problem. But it was really all about changing time into a fourth and fifth dimension, into a different construct of present time. It was successful. Then you got 2001, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then 2008. And now we're starting to drop into physicalness. So you had the massive financial experience in 2008, which was so much bigger than just the financial crashing of the systems. It reconfigured. But the real piece was 2012. And all through the last, those of us who kind of started playing in this game in the 70s were really aware of this time point, 2012. And so in 2012, when it came, we did a conference in particular with about 500 people. And in that conference, Metatron stepped forth, one of the Archangelics Lords of Light, and basically said, as of this moment, there will never be another child born into the third dimensional game. As of this moment, the door on the third dimensional game is closed and the game is over. Now, the challenge is, well, if the game is over, then why are we talking about third dimension?
Hey there, Inspired Evolutionary. If you absolutely loved this, well then here's a full conversation with this guest on the Inspired Evolution podcast. Check it out now.